Alright, YouTubers, today I'm working on a 2007 Nissan Pathfinder, no start issue. We're gonna do the diagnostic real quick. I already basically checked a few stuff already to save a little time on the video, but let me show you what is going on here. So I got some power to the battery now. I have to jump it, and I'm cranking it, and just the screen keeps going dead right there, and it's no start. But when I checked it with my computer, let's see what this is here. I checked the starter for power. I also checked the safety neutral switch to make sure that it wouldn't start, in neutral or park, that maybe it wasn't picking up the park signal, so I put it in neutral to give it a second chance, so maybe it might start in neutral. I also using a relay here. This is the starter relay. It's not cranking over. I checked the starter relay. I also put power to the starter by itself, which would be the bottom pin all the way on the bottom. You can jump that with a positive 12 volt, and you'll be able to hear the starter work if it is good. So I did that part. I also checked all the fuses. These are all the fuses here. I checked the bottom ones. I checked all the fuses, complete everything. I checked the ground too. I was getting a code u1000, and when I looked it up, they said it could be a bad ground on the computer, because I was getting a code for no communication. So I also checked that up, and I found what I ended up finding was that, let me show you here what I'm finding. We're looking at, let me see, start signal, power start signal is off, and when I turn the key, you can see it still says off. I'm turning the key right now, and so it's not picking up any signal from the key to start, to make the starter jump, to turn. So this is also park neutral switch, which is it in park, and when I put it in reverse, it should change to on. When I put it neutral, actually when I put it in gear, it should say off. When I put it in neutral or park, it should say on, because that's when the switch is working. So right now it's the opposite. It's in park and it's saying off. So I went further to scan the transmission, which I did because I was getting an ECU code. Check the transmission here. The guy who working on it last said that he just was cranking it and it wasn't starting, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't even crank anymore. So they called me up, and I came out here and doing a little diagnostic on it. And as you can see, I'm getting no communication with the transmission control module. I am getting communication with the engine control module. So that right there would tell me that the engine control module is working pretty good, but the transmission control module is not working. And if the transmission control module is not working, it would not pick up that the vehicle is in park or neutral to be able to start and send the signal to the ignition to actually start the car. So most likely, which it is, because you're not getting any communication, is the transmission control module for this vehicle. It could also be for some other vehicle if you are getting communication with the module, but the park neutral switch is not working, then you probably might just be able to replace that and get away with just changing the switch itself. But also note that you should check for the any coolant getting into your transmission fluid that would cause the transmission module to burn out and not work properly. So that will lead to a complete failure, which is what's happening right now with this car. It doesn't have any coolant inside of the transmission, but I did see it happen. It does happen, and on these vehicles, and because they are connected together, it can happen on other vehicles also. But it's just something for you to check that I mentioned, for you to just check it out to see. You can check the radiator to see if there's any oil inside of it. You can check the dipstick to see the condition of the transmission fluid, if it's looking milky, if the coolant is getting inside. This one is not. So basically, the computer just went bad on this one and just needs to replace. That's why we're getting a no start. Alright, people, give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.